Yeah. Oh, excellent. Okay. So we're just going to separate a little bit of our coleslaw here. You can see it's just beaming with color. It's just fantastic. You already know that you're going to get all kinds of nutrients in that. And we already know that that's medicine to the body because God tells us in His Word that He gives us food for medicine. And so we already know that it's medicine. And we know that science, best guess, has been trying to keep up with God. And they keep saying the same old thing, in fact. And so, I guess nothing changes. Truth doesn't change. So, wherever you get it from is not real important. The fact remains is truth is truth. And so, food is nutrition and medicine. And so, this is actually something you can have. You can make some get some nice homemade chips with that. You can do lots of things with that. So now we want to go with our fish, but the reason why we did the two bowls, and what I'm going to do is put a cap on this, and I'm going to use some plastic wrap because it's just convenient, and it's not going to be touching the food or anything like that. So I'm excited about that because I'm not a big fan of plastic. If I could get it to function for me, that would be great. This is plastic 101. So we'll just tear off plenty because we like to fill up landfills with plastic apparently. It's actually just operator error. Not really familiar apparently. It's obviously very good cling wrap though because it seems to be clinging well. It grabs the edge of the bowl real nicely, and then we can just kind of pull that right on over tight as we kind of work our way around. And there's nothing wrong with taking a little extra time with your food. Think about all the hours you spend in the doctor's office when we don't take the extra time with our food. And so when we take the extra time with our food, we can spend a lot less hours sitting in the doctor's room and a lot more hours in the kitchen exploring God's amazing food. And so here's some nice non-fish. I'm going to put that in the fridge. That's non-fish. We're going to put the fish in this one now because fish is super beneficial. It's very anti-inflammatory. It's got wonderful omega-3s. And so this is pollock. The first batch of this pollock we had, I found to be very low on the fishy scale, so it really wasn't very fishy. This one smells a little stronger, so we'll see how it comes out. It's been cooling for quite some time, and so I'm just going to reach in there and I'm just going to grab out the thing, and we're just going to kind of set it down here on the board there. We're going to put that in the sink. We're going to go ahead and get all that stuff washed up. And again, this is a first, so we're just going to go this way. And I remember pollock was nice in that see how it just kind of flakes. It's just totally flakes. It's just beautiful. When you're trying to do something where you really want to blend some fish in and not even know that it's there, or if you don't care if it's there. And here it's kind of like you're adding kind of a tartar right into the fish. But we want to put the fish in there because we want to get those omega-3s. We really want to get that nutrient panel. And pollock's not a very large fish, so it's going to be kind of low on the mercury chart. So when we talk about mercury levels, we're talking about the bigger the fish is, the more mercury it contains, and which is okay. We have a little bit of cilantro in there. That's going to help get that heavy metal out of our body, so that's a blessing. So we already have it covered. And we just thank God for that He provides all of these things. So now we're just going to put the fish into the bowl. And it's just fantastic. And then we're just going to blend it in. Oh, I'm seeing, there it goes. I'm master at spilling. So it's not about perfection, it's about direction. And we're just going to stack our cutting boards there because those are going to get clean before the night's out. Now the fish I'm just going to throw away. I'm not going to put that into the freezer bag. And then we have the counter. We can come back and do that later. So basically, you just got to spend a little bit of loving time and just kind of folding it in there. We just really want to get it mixed in there. We don't want like a whole patch of fish. We want a coleslaw. We're trying to go after the coleslaw. And so we want that little bit of bite. We got the vinegar in there to give it the bite. We've got the cabbage to give that really sharp lettuce flavor that you get in a traditional coleslaw. Also the carrots give it that a little bit of a traditional coleslaw feel to it. But then we added the parsnips to kind of keep everything in our body guessing, because we really just want to increase the nutrients without our body even knowing it. And so next thing you know, you got a multivitamin in you, and we call it coleslaw. So we're just so grateful I imagine now with the fish, we'd be looking at some of the B vitamins, definitely protein, high protein in this. This is a high protein meal, actually, when you look at it, because we consider the yogurt and the fish as well. So we've got two very nice proteins there. We've got a tremendous amount of fiber. It's all very hidden. It's not like you're eating a salad, which is great. It's got a little bit of bite to it with the vinegars, and the vinegars do a lot for aiding in digestion. And so we're kind of excited about it. It's got some bell pepper, so we know that we're jacked up with vitamin C. We already know that a bell pepper is twice the vitamin C of an orange, and yet we can just slip it right on in there. We've got the garlic in there, so we've got antifungal, bacterial, viral, all of the antis there. We've got antioxidants going. Wow. I don't think this thing is missing much. Vitamin D, no, we're getting that with the fish. So we're really getting a whole spectrum of nutrients right here. This is a fantastic supplement, and just think of it as a medicine. You can add this to any meal that you're having, and know that you're like eating a multivitamin, but yet you're having coleslaw. And so I'm very excited about it. It does have like a tinge. Like a darker tinge to it than I'm used to, growing up with coleslaw traditionally. But again, we did just wing it. Now, I think what's going to happen, because the way the vinegar is going to settle with that yogurt, as it starts to do what it does to yogurt, including the pickles, so the vinegar from the pickles and the vinegar I added. And so we're going to want to let that sit overnight in the refrigerator. And I think that's going to really it's just going to turn out to be a great, you could really make a meal out of it if you wanted to. I would do some toast, or I would do some chips, some homemade chips or something like that. And you could get some grains in there, because there's really not a lot of grains. That's the only food group, nuts and grains and seeds, that we really didn't cover too heavy here. And so other than that, you've got all your nutritional panel. And because I'm a nerd for nutrition, I'm going to just ball up a little bit of olive oil in there. Why? Because it's just a bunch of nutrition, and you might as well go for it. And so there we go. We're just going to blend that in. And now we know we got even more omega-3s, just going to go ahead and just killing the inflammation in our bodies. If we've got stress, that's going to help us with our stress. If we're not getting good sleep, it's going to help us with that. If we're not getting adequate exercise, it's going to help our body defend against that. Now, if we're eating bad food, it's going to help with that. But one thing you want to remember is that although it will help with it, we also, at the end of the day, we want to get good sleep. God tells us, come and get my sweet sleep. And so God has already told us we need sleep. And science shows that if we don't get sleep, good sleep, that disease is able to have its way. And so we want to get God sweet sleep. He also tells us to give him all of our anxiety. So we already know that we don't want to stress. And when the day is stressful, that before we go to bed at night, we want to make sure that we're giving all that stress to God and just kind of letting it go, so we can start the next day fresh if we're given another day. We already know that God tells us in his word that we should get a little bit of exercise, because that's good for the body. You don't have to be a gym rat or anything like that, and be anything over obsessive or compulsive with it, but a little bit of exercise is good, a little bit of walking. If you can't walk, maybe lifting some water bottles or something like that, and that'll really help your body out a lot. It's amazing. I just learned that exercise and the power it has to healthy bones. Actually, that was an interesting, some research that I was reading, that exercise is so beneficial to the development of healthy bones. And so we're all set, ready to go. We're going to let that sit overnight, and then we're going to come back tomorrow, and we're going to go ahead and divvy that out, and we're going to see how that goes. And so there it is. Thanks for joining us for Coleslaw. I'm excited about it.